Good morning, friends. Welcome to the second game on track one of Five Nations Roller Derby Playoffs 2025. I am Snoogans and I am here.
Hello, I am Jogger.
So we are going to talk to you about this fantastic second game, well, third game, because obviously we've got track two happening as well. We've got Manchester Roller Derby Valkyries skating in the green and Severn Roller Torrent skating in the blue. We have just over a minute to Derby, so we're going to give you a quick rundown of the teams. Jugger, would you like to take Manchester?
Yes, okay, so for Manchester we have 1-8D, 2-2 Bechamel Sauce, 2-3 MC Slammer, 2-4 Zayna, 2-5-7 Quiet Riot, 3 Price, 3-0 French Bird, 3-0-3 Dusty, 3-5 Barbell, 3-4-5-2 Devastator, 7-0-1 Hellraiser, 7-4-7 Trauma, 7-5 Hannah of the North, 8-6 Cherry Skate Wells, and 8-8-7 Iron Maven.
Thank you. And for Severn we have 1-0 Little Sister, 1-6-3-0 Buffy Shovers, 1-6-4-9 Scrim Reaper, 2-4 is Sergeant Shunt, 2-7 is Rainbow Crush, 3-3 is Galactic Haze, 4-2 is Ocean, 5-3 is Pael, 7-7-7 is Frog, 8-6 is Paradox Fox, 9-2 is Enigma, 9-9 is Drop Dead Red, and 9-1-1 is Elf Hazard. And we are literally a second away to go, and the rolling whistle has gone, and we are about to start the game.
Yes, we have 7-4-7 Trauma lining up for Manchester.
And that looks like number 42, Ocean.
And we're off.
Both jammers going straight into the back of the pack.
Yes, Manchester have managed to capture the Severn jammer right at the back, so they take the star off as soon as Manchester get the lead.
Yeah, go. Trauma with some really nice footwork along the inside line, and a big drawback, forcing that recycle.
First points of the game go to Manchester 4-0 so far.
Looking at some big hits being thrown by Manchester to Severn's jammer.
And there's our first penalty of the game going to Severn. Scrim Reaper going to the box for a direction penalty.
And that is Severn's pivot as well, so that's the star pass eliminated as an option for Severn. Star was in hand, however, some nice offensive work from the remaining blockers, Sergeant Shunt and Drop Dead Red. Sees Ocean out of the pack and round to complete that initial pass, and now up on the scoring one.
Trauma decides to call it off. We'll see if there's any points for Severn. 12 for Manchester so far.
So it looks like those whistles were from the other track. That's the thing about those two tracks.
I didn't realise that. Is my bad.
No, it's the luck of the draw.
So for those of you who can only see the one track right now, there are two tracks in this arena, and they all have referees and they all have whistles.
Our officials are running two different whistles though. On one track we will have the Fox 40 Classic, and on the other track we have the Fox Pearl, which is a higher register.
Yes. I found out the Fox 40 Classic is for indoors, and the Fox 40 Pearl really better for outdoors, but these whistles were for us, so here we are. 16 plays 6 at the end of that. And D from Manchester, still in the box, picked up 2 penalties.
So we're going to start with a pack advantage for Severn, which is really what they're going to want moving into this next jam with that points deficit.
Yes, it'll definitely be a benefit to Buffy Shovers. And Paradox Fox, I think, just managing to knock out the Manchester jammer.
Yeah, really, really nice takeoff there. Paid dividends with a nice, just giving that little bit of breathing space for Buffy to get through on the outside. And already up on a scoring pass, super quick lap time.
Really quick, yeah. But now caught behind a Manchester wall. And it looks like the Manchester jammer just sent the recycling blocker, or a blocker who was on the outside with them, spinning.
French Bird still looking for that initial pass.
Yeah.
We're 50 seconds into the jam now.
The Severn roller turn just really hard to push against.
Although really nice 3-wall headed up by Dusty at the back of the pack from Manchester.
Yeah, this is very much so a blocker's jam
100%.
compared to last jam, which was more of a jammer's jam, I suppose. Oh, there, Severn roller turn, little sister picks up a penalty, and Severn call off the jam.
Yeah, French Bird managing to break through. Buffy had been knocked off and was returning to the pack, had been recycled. Could see that French Bird was coming round on the scoring pass. Was like, no, absolutely not, I'm calling that. 3 well-deserved points there.
3 hard-fought points. Paradox Fox has picked up a direction at the end of that last jam. So that is 16 wheels on the track for Manchester, and that aren't on the track for Severn. Unfortunate, but we continue. Cherry Skate World and Pael fighting it out. Pael?
I think we'll go with Pael, unless we're corrected otherwise. Very speedy lead and first scoring lap for Cherry Skateswell.
And Manchester just recapture the Severn Jammer at the top of the pack. And then it swaps around. Now Severn at the top of the pack trying to catch the Manchester Jammer, but unsuccessfully so.
Little Sister heading to the penalty box for a direction penalty. Blocked right until the very last moment, but it wasn't cleanly.
Alas, and joined by Barbell, so a blocker each in the box.
Frog with some really nice offense, almost sort of acting as like a sort of a slipstream to see Pael through the pack.
Slipstream battering ram as well.
Yeah.
The important thing is to protect your jammer.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll go into the next lineup. We go into Jam 3. 32 plays 9 points.
Yeah, another 16-point jam for Manchester.
Impressive numbers.
So we've got Trauma back up for Manchester up against
Trauma
Hazard.
not lead, despite what your screen may be telling you. We haven't started.
He's just keen.
Just keen. We'll see if the prophecy comes true. Huh? Seems like
She's certainly eager, and
yes, there we are.
Foretold by the prophecy.
As foretold by your screen, Trauma is now lead. Elf Hazard just sort of stuck right at the top of the pack. Despite the offense. Oh, there we go, push through.
Just briefly, in case you can hear the cheers bleeding over from the other track, we are in our final jam for Rebellion v Wiltshire. Scores currently just had a lead change.
885.
Yeah, Wiltshire just moved into the lead with 1 minute and 9 left on the clock. Absolutely stomped.
Here we are. Paradox Fox picks up. We're at the beginning of our game, so Paradox Fox picks up a direction penalty. It is in the box. Trauma still going around, and I think Elf Hazard still stuck. No. Elf Hazard coming around to score, and that is the end of this jam.
Yeah, Elf managing to break through there and force that call, preventing it from being another 16-point jam.
A paltry 12. Very early this morning. French Bird and Ocean on the track.
Seen both these jammers already pairing up against each other. Got that pack advantage to Manchester.
A bit of dancing around behind the jammer line, but French Bird pulling to the front of the pack. as it stretches out. Ocean stuck at the back. Ocean gets lead after being stuck at the back, but here we are, French Bird chasing half a track behind.
That was an amazing hold from Sergeant Shunt and Frog. French Bird had been your foremost jammer for a good chunk of time there. I did think she'd actually got through, and then I saw our scoreboard showing, flashing that Ocean was lead. Really great work.
Yeah, wonderful work. Doesn't look like there's any points to show for all of that effort. So Manchester really shutting Severn down right at the end. So we have Bully Shovers against Cherry Skatewells for Jam 5.
I'll tell you what, while nobody may have scored any points, Severn's still preventing Manchester from scoring any.
Yes. Splendid work by the blockers.
Yeah.
So we've got Manchester trying to dance through. Oh, we have a penalty. That will make it a bit easier for Cherry Skatewells now to push through the remaining 3 blockers, and off the jammer goes with lead. Scrim Reaper catching a forearms.
Could see how long that pack had been stretched out, really extending that engagement zone.
Buffy Shovers now star in hand. Does have some support from Frog.
Pivot is on the track. She chooses to utilise the star pass.
If she would like, but gotta catch the other jammer first.
Yeah, gotta catch the other jammer, gotta reach your own pivot as well.
This is true, but nope, there we are, no pack called, so Cherry Skatewells out again. Scored 8 points so far, it should be. We'll see.
And there goes the pivot to the box. I feel that might be our fault. Jinx that one.
I don't know, it's just... yeah. Well. Oh, that is...
That's 3 blockers.
Yeah, two sitting, 1 in the queue. So no rest for the wicket. Frog has to stay on the track, waiting so that there's space in the penalty box for them to sit down. Of course, there's already 2. Oh, here we are, our first official timeout. So I will take the opportunity and find you the officials crew.
So yeah, just to give you a quick update, folks, on that game on track 2. Your final score, Rebellion Roller Derby 186, and just sneaking out the win with 189 is Wiltshire Roller Derby. Absolutely fantastic stuff.
Sneaking in, stealing the win at the last second.
It did look like it was pretty much last second stuff. Fantastic. So a bit of a stats business for you from our initial producer, Duke Special. We have now been joined by the fantastic Sonic. Severn haven't scored in 6 jams. Manchester doing a really great job of absolutely shutting them down. They have had some leads, obviously we've seen that, and really looking to bring them back into the game and see if they can reduce this deficit that they are currently sitting in.
And we're back to the action. Well, we have a blocker standing, so Frog should be on the way to the box shortly. And there the pivot goes. Lead for Trauma. And scoring already. Very quick, the Manchester Jammers to come around the track after they get out. Ooh. And Manchester just tearing that wall apart, keeping the jammer out. Some wonderful stuff here. Of course, it does help that they have 16 wheels more on the track.
Yeah, Frog now seated in the box.
Frog standing in the box again, in fact. And I think, oh, yep, there we go. Drop Dead Red was showing as being still in the box, but they have been on track for a little while already. And Frog also leaves the box, opening up the opportunity for a Star Pass if it's needed. Something that Payal is definitely looking for at this point, having been stuck behind the Manchester wall all this time. Okay, and the box, it does not say that on your screen yet, but the box is clear.
Well, that's almost certainly a jinx right there.
Well, the jam is over, so we'll all go in peace.
I think that's the first time we've ended a jam with an empty penalty box for a few jams.
Oh, maybe. Yes, I think so.
So we are starting with a full pack, which is always wonderful to see. French Bird for Manchester and Elf Hazard for Severn are going to be your jammers.
Indeed, 68 plays 9. That was that the fourth 16-point jam for Manchester this game so far?
I think it might be. So French Bird is your lead. However, Elf Hazard seemed to take the same line and break out of the box.
Oh, referee's having a bit of a hug.
French Bird clocked straight away that Elf was out of the pack, straight behind them, and called the jam almost immediately. I don't think they'd even rounded turn 2.
No, I think that was very fast, very quick end to that jam. That is, I think, there we are.
Team timeout called.
Team timeout for Severn, I believe.
Yeah, that's their bench coach, Dangly Bits.
Wonderful. Well,
lovely guy.
We have a minute, so I'll give a quick shout out to our officials. We have Booker DeWitt, Chief, Dickinsonia, Gamma, Grand Ref Auto, Great Barrier Ref, K Lateral Damage, Kel Tepe, Linda Lombardi, Meg, Pablo Ref Scabar, Peach, Ref Leopard, Scrim Shady, Sephiroth, Says Who, Shenanigan, Pterodactyl, Swearwolf, and Recky Fox. Those are your officials for today on this track. That is Crew Shade Ref to play.
I'm going to give a shout out to Swearwolf, who has fallen on their sword. They're unwell. They have been taken ill and are not able to join us this weekend.
That's unfortunate.
It is, but very unfortunate. We do miss you greatly, Swearwolf. We hope that you aren't feeling too rough. And yes, that is absolutely a play on dog-related words, rough. We will have a howl for you later, I promise. And hope that you're enjoying watching from home.
Anyway, in the meantime, Keltepe has called off the timeout because it was the full minute. So we have Buffy Shovers and Cherry Skatewells lining up. And we're off. Cherry Skatewells pushes through the wall, Severn's wall. And we have still fighting. Manchester managed to get the jammer back to the rear of the pack and just sort of hold them there. And attempt at a star pass, jammer knocked down. You can't pass the star when you're not on your feet.
No, you've got to be upright and inbounds, all that good legal stuff. And we have had a completed star pass, first one of the game. And that is Frog now is your active jammer for Severn.
Jam is called afterwards as Frog manages to get out of the pack nice and sharpish. But speaking of sharp things, Hellraiser going to the box.
It's going to be the first Manchester penalty for quite a while, so we're going to start with the pack advantage for Severn.
Extra 8 wheels always helps, and we see we have the captain for Severn. Ooh, there we are. We've got our lead numbers from our lovely stats folks. We've got 2 leads for Severn and 7 leads so far for Manchester. Let's see if they manage to extend their domination on the lead jams. But right now, both jammers just stuck behind those walls. Nowhere to go for either of them.
got a really, really nice 3-wall. We had it up at the front now, recycling the jammer.
Both jammers being recycled even.
Yeah.
Oop. There we are.
Fantastic.
Severn finding an opening on the outside, pushing through, getting lead. Meanwhile, Manchester, Quiet Riot, just sort of stuck.
Quiet Riot has removed the helmet cover.
Trying to pass it to Zena. Zena stuck at the front of the pack, trying to just hold back. Oh, there's another penalty for Manchester.
So that is a completed star pass. Our wonderful jam ref has indicated that.
Oh, wonderful, but oof. A good catch there, knocking the Severn jammer straight to the inside.
Really great track awareness from our jammer there for Severn. As they called the jam, fully turned their body, got their hips through that 2-wall.
Beautiful.
And it was fully like through the 2-wall, because obviously it's hips passing the opposition's hips that count as the points. And that is a full 8 points on the board for Severn.
Always good. Severn starting with a 16-wheel advantage. That's 2 blockers in the box for Manchester.
Trauma being taken off and recycled, and that gives space for Payel to pick up lead. That's consecutive leads for Severn, getting a nice nod from Sonic. Thank you very much for that, Sonic. I like to be told I'm doing well. Trauma now with star in hand, looking for that initial pass, pushing that solid 2-wall.
Well, Payel at the back on a scoring pass. Trauma out.
Got all our blockers from Manchester back on track.
Yeah, Trauma not quite so quick around after having to fight for a very long time to beat that wall. I remember the first time Trauma was out practically around again, seconds later.
So that was a 3-point pass on that second pass, nearly getting all the biscuits. So we are closing, we were over halfway through this first half, just under 12 minutes remaining of the half.
Yep, and so far Blue has had 6 jams where they've scored nothing. Blue being, of course, Severn, and Green, that's Manchester, were held scoreless 5 times so far.
Fantastic.
So blockers really doing some good work, good jammer awareness, and we're 20 minutes down, so...
Yeah. And that is a 3rd consecutive lead for Severn. Elf Hazard, French Bird has broken through.
Yes, despite an attempt by Little Sister to just catch French Bird at the front, it didn't work. But Severn calling it off before Manchester can score any points. So now our teams are tied in terms of jams where they've scored nothing, where the opposing team has managed to shut them out. But Severn pick up a single point in this jam. So 76 plays 25 as Buffy Shovers and Cherry Skate Worlds line up.
51-point differential. If Severn are able to keep holding Manchester to these scoreless jams, and to keep securing these leads, of course, as I say it,
Cherry Skate Worlds just shooting up through the middle of the pack.
Like so much hot jam.
Indeed.
And just the speed of the lap once again.
Catching Severn unawares. Star pass by Severn. Frog is your jammer again. But Manchester denying the initial. And there we have it. They've managed to hold the jammer and reform their tripod.
Yeah, some absolutely beautiful reformation from Manchester.
Yeah. But Frog managing to just find a way on the outside as we come into turn 3. No pack called, the front collapses, but That is a high block call on the lead jammer, so we're going to keep going for another minute as Cherry Skate Welds goes to the box.
And she's being joined by Hellraiser, so that's a blocker down for Manchester as well.
Yes. I do feel for Frog though, having taken the star pass.
This is not what I signed up for.
Yes. But that's the risk you take when you're the pivot. Sometimes
Yes.
after the star pass, you're stuck jamming. Jamming is hard, everybody.
To be fair, I don't think there is particularly a position in any of roller derby that's particularly straightforward.
Oh no, well, I mean, I don't think you could really describe derby as straightforward
No.
at any point. But
Little voice in my head said, "Have you seen the rule set?"
I have. And that is the end of the 2 minutes. 12 points so far for Manchester, 7 for Severn. 7 for Severn. There's a tongue twister for you. '88 plays 32. Quiet Riot skating against Ocean. And we can see the Manchester coach running out from the inside just before we start. Here we go. Again, those walls just on those jammers. And there we are, a short recycle by Severn at the front, but Quiet Riot still at the front with the Severn blockers, not giving up any space. And there we have it, a penalty.
Just as a brief aside, I've just seen a post informing from the lovely Louise informing us that it's pronounced paelli, because she's from Spain, like paella. Thank you, Louise. Very much appreciate
very
that.
much. Okay, 3 penalties for Severn. Quiet Riot has managed to get the lead. Ocean still stuck, star in hand, behind that Manchester wall, but Manchester obviously have to be very careful with so few blockers on the track. It's very easy to lose the pack.
Yes.
Another Severn penalty. No, a Manchester penalty this time, so I apologise, I misspoke.
The fantastically named bechamel sauce.
Yes. Severn blockers back on the track. Rainbow Crush and Bechamel Sauce sharing the box for now, but Quiet Riot around on a scoring pass. Severn also scoring. 8-4 so far in this jam, and it's still running.
At this point, there's got to be an element of wanting to take advantage of having that pack advantage, but also wanting to run the clock a bit to get your blockers out of the penalty box. And it's trying to find that line.
Wolf, Manchester 11 points, just short of the century mark.
6 minutes left of this half. It's absolutely raced by.
Yeah. It has, and only 14 jams, which is, I think, a little bit below the average number of jams and a half. We're off with Trauma against Paelli. Paelli. There we are. And that is the box cleared as Rainbow Crush returns, but lead for Trauma. Manchester just setting up to catch Paelli again and again and again.
Paelli nearly through on the outside, but did just get taken off, so opt to reset themselves.
Cut track call on Trauma. So we're going to have a 2-minute jam again. Severn's jammer now coming around on the first scoring pass, calling for that offense, but Manchester racing ahead. No pack called, and Paelli picking up points for Severn. 42.
So looks like Paoli is not lead. So this jam is going to run for the full duration. We've got 45 seconds left on the clock.
Devastator going to join the jammer in the box for Manchester, but Sergeant Shunt also picks up a pack destruction penalty. Trauma back on track now. On the scoring pass, I believe. Sort of runs over the Severn wall, almost literally. Held at the front for crucial seconds by the pivot, Little Sister, but managing to get out and put up the first points this jam for Manchester Roller Derby, breaking the century mark. 103 plays 46 seconds to go in this jam.
Trauma coming around the outside, completely missed by the Severn blockers until it was just a hair too late for them to kind of do much about it at all.
Yeah,
so yeah, that's points all round. 11 plays 8 in that jam. Severn just one away from hitting that half century, and as you say, Manchester now breaking the century. 49 to 107. Just under 3.5 minutes left of the first half.
Now we've got Elf Hazard lining up against French Bird. French Bird finds a big gap on the inside that Severn just left there, and lead for Manchester. Elf Hazard in the meantime stuck. Lovely hit by 3 there. That is, of course... Ooh. Price. Gotta pay the price if you want to pass the pack, unfortunately. Again, both of the walls doing a job shutting those jammers down. But French Bird managing to push ahead again. And Severn out of play. French Bird has pushed all the way through and picked up the second set of points.
Oh, that was an absolute... I don't know if anybody spotted it, sort of like bottom right-hand corner. What looked to be the most certain star pass that I have ever seen. The star went to... Physically, was almost in the hand of the pivot. And then Elf Hazard just... really quick juke straight through that open line in the middle, through on a scoring pass, or the initial pass, picked up points. Beautiful.
Beautiful, and Elf Hazard gets paid. Picking up at least 4 points.
Running with that price metaphor. I mean, I'm here for it.
Yeah. 15 and 4 points. Manchester 122, Severn 53. And that is a timeout. Oh, no, that is an official review.
I believe they are using the official review as their timeout.
Yeah, that would make sense given that the coach walked straight back to the box.
Yeah.
Of course, they will get another official review at the beginning of the next half. And we've only got a minute and 35 left to play.
Yeah, I guess if it's
you may as well.
reviews, of course, if you don't you lose it.
Yeah.
Might as well use it the next time out.
Yeah. Get a bit of an extra break, especially after those long jams.
And Dangley is he is a seasoned person in the roller derby community. I think he was a couple of years in when I started, and I've been here 14 years now. So.
Well, you certainly both have me beat. I've only been doing this since 2019.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's still a good while.
True, but it's not 14 years.
No. I mean, it's his fault that I am talking on this microphone right now.
Oh, thank you, Dangley. I think Manchester have also been exploiting a slight bench depth advantage. Of course, they have the full 15 skaters, whereas Severn are skating with 13.
Yes.
Anyway, we're back in the action. Potentially the last jam of the half.
Potentially, yes.
And French Bird grabbing lead.
Great takeoff by Enigma.
Yeah. Oh, no, never mind. I spoke too soon. Elf Hazard grabs lead, calls it off. We're going to have another jam.
Typical.
So, despite what the scoreboard might say, there were no points scored in that last jam. It is not an additional 15-4 with no change in the overall score. It is a 0-all. So going to the last lineup. Buffy Shovers against Cherry Skatewells. Oh, we have an official timeout. I wonder, one of the NSOs is running over to the head officials table. Okay, we've got movement. Jam timer is returning from the scoreboard. And you can't see it, but the Severn roller turn, some of the skaters are staying warm. They're having a little dance in the bench. Oh, there we go. That is the end of the official timeout. I believe that. So your screen will say Buffy Shovers, but it is in fact Ocean who is on track for Severn. Or, as you may see from the back of the derby, Esparcieux. Star in hand now by Ocean. And Frog. Oh, I believe actually what we have are the lineups from the previous jam on the screen. So, unfortunately, we can't be certain of those. But Trauma is on track for Manchester. Star pass there for Ocean to Frog. I know the screen says from Buffy Shovers to Little Sisters. It is Ocean to Frog. And that is the end of the jam. That is the end of the first half. 126-53. And we shall see you in 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, I mean, a 73-point differential. It's a chunk.
It's a chunk. It's doable.
It is. I mean, it would absolutely involve
some proper heroics by some of the Severn jammers.
I mean, I think from sort of like halfway through the first half, sort of like about 10 minutes left, Severn really kind of kicked into gear.
Yeah,
if they
really picked up the pace there.
Yeah, if they can come out of the gate second half with more of that, I think they can definitely either significantly reduce that differential or pull it back. It's possible.
They just need to score a torrent of points.
Nice. And I think on that note, we'll leave it there. Folks, we will be back, as we say, probably about 10 to 12 minutes.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Hello and welcome back, friends. We are just under a minute out to restart this game. And you're back with myself, Snoogans, the wonderful Jugger, and our fantastic producer, Sonic. We've been having a look at some stats and stuff.
Especially specifically penalties. So Severn right now 16 penalties across 13 skaters. Manchester 13 penalties across 15 skaters. Yeah. Pretty even so far.
Yep. Yeah, nobody in any particular trouble. We've got sort of 2s and 3s. It's just nothing particularly to write home about. Yeah. But yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that as things progress. We move into the second half.
Keep you all up to date.
And yeah, more of the wonderful score information. I can see that Sonic has been able to secure some score tracking paperwork, and I can tell that they are super excited about that. Just that grin, that was beautiful. That's lit up the room. Our skaters are back on track. Our officials look primed and ready, and I'm ready. You ready?
Of course, always ready. Trauma and Ocean on the track.
And I can only assume that our friends at home are ready as well.
Well, the hell better be. We're about to start.
It better be. I say with love, of course.
Oh, always, always.
Of course. And we are off. Very snug pack to get us started here in this second half.
Whoop. Severn picking up lead. A good start, which is what they need given the deficit.
Yeah, Ocean straight round the outside line.
Yeah. Powering through.
Trauma still looking for the initial as Ocean completes that initial, that first scoring pass.
Oh,
and
star pass.
There you go, star pass.
From Trauma to D. But here we are, an attempt, a whip goes slightly wrong, and it's called off, but I do believe that will be at least one more point for Severn. Let's see, let's find out. One more point for Severn.
Just the one. Every point counts, and it's 5 unanswered points.
Closing in.
Yeah. They're coming for us.
French bird. Off your shoulders.
Jam is on. Great bit of offense there from number 24, Zena.
Yeah, not quite enough to get French bird out, and but a lovely catch by the pivot.
Yeah, very quick switch to defense there. Zena.
Everybody going down.
Zena get you a blocker who can do both.
But in all of that chaos, French bird finally managing to push out after almost 30 seconds. And I think that is a skater gone to the box. And a star pass for Severn. Buffy Shovers handling off to Little Sister. And there we are, it's a low block to Rainbow Crush. First penalty of the second half. Oh dear.
Okay, so we are going to take a moment. That jam was called for injury. We do have fantastic medics on site with us this weekend to make sure that everybody is well looked after. Because obviously the safety and the safety and well-being of our skaters, officials and volunteers is absolutely paramount. Once everybody has been checked over, we'll get back to the action as soon as we can. However, we are going to share a little bit of info with you about the teams while we have a moment. Because obviously we've played a whole season of games that have brought us to this point. And both teams have actually had a pretty good year, to be fair. Starting with Manchester.
Manchester, they have won all of their games in the division.
By a fair margin.
By a fair margin. I can take you through some of the scores. Manchester, when they played Arcadia, 242 to 83. In fact, it looks like Manchester over 200 points in every one of their games. So 222 to 155 against Birmingham, 221 to 108 against Hull's Angels, 283, almost 300 points, and 153 for Durham, their opponents at the time. They did play one game outside of the division against Cambridge, which they lost, but they only lost by very small number of points. Cambridge had 164, Manchester 151.
Yes, super close game, and they've had a bit of a mixed time through sort of the Five Nations over the years. In 2023, they finished second in Tier 3 West, which got them promotion into Tier 2. Last year, they finished fourth in Tier 2 North, and that's what brings them to
this game in Tier 3.
Yeah, in Tier 3.
They were obviously relegated.
Yeah, but obviously they finished top of the tier this year.
And of course, they do have a European ranking.
Yes,
they're 92nd.
That's impressive.
It's not bad.
Not bad at all. 7. So.
Oh, I think we're about to start. Ooh.
Love it. We've
been reading off our phones. Somebody has had a binder next to us the entire time. So it looks like we're getting back to the action, which is fantastic. It's always great to know that everybody is okay. So we'll come back to Severn at a later point during an official timeout. Brief shout out to our fantastic assistant and tournament head announcers, Over the Painbow, Dork Mistress, Smashy Boy, and Duke Special and Riggs for creating the info deck of glory, which we're using this weekend to kind of fuel all the info and everything that we've got about the teams. It's been an absolute godsend. Yeah. In the meantime, back on the Derby, Cherry Skateboards is lead for Manchester and has just completed the first scoring pass of this jam. And that's the end of it. Box is cleared for Severn.
Rainbow Crushed exited.
Ooh, Severn picking up 3 points, not held scoreless this time.
Nice.
138 to 61.
Elf Hazard and Trauma back on the line.
Indeed. Zena and Frog. I think we've seen this matchup before. Let's see how it goes in this jam. Trauma trying to sneak up the inside, but Severn there waiting. And now both jammers stuck in the middle of the pack just. Oh, there we, as I say that, Trauma manages another push forward as we enter turn 1. Trauma dictating the action, getting out the front, and that is just a jam called, unfortunately. Not called by any of the jammers and not called for time.
Yeah, so that's going to be an injury call again. So we can now talk about Severn and the time they've had this season throughout Five Nations. So again, they've had a pretty good season as well.
They've had a decent season. So Severn won 4 out of their 5 games.
So they've had still some good wins, but not quite as hefty.
Not quite as domineering, no.
Yes, domineering is a good word. So 132 to 122 versus Bridge End. 189 to 185 to Tiger Bay Challengers. I bet that was blooming good.
Oh, I imagine so, yeah.
179 to 106 against Bath Spartans. A loss to Devon, 94 to 213. And having seen the first game this morning between Devon and Belfast, I can fully believe that. Devon, an absolute powerhouse.
Yeah.
And a significant win over Cornwall, 301 to 62. And yeah, again, see how they've performed over the years. In 2023, they topped Tier 4 South, and last year they topped Tier 4 West. They lost their first game at playoffs last year to Cambridge, who then went on to earn promotion to Tier 2.
Yeah, indeed. So if they win, they'll have to. They have their chance for a revenge match against Devon. But right now, of course, it looks like Manchester are going to deny them that grudge match. But we still have 25 minutes.
We do.
Well, almost 26. Plenty of time still left in the game.
But no, it's just already 3 games deep. We're seeing some absolutely fantastic roller derby, and we have so many more games for you this weekend, folks. Just to give you a quick rundown of what's going on. So on our other track at the moment, we have Bristol A taking on Cambridge. The scores: Cambridge 3 points, Bristol A with a significant lead of 51. 19 minutes 19 minutes and 10 seconds left of that game.
Well, of the first half of that game.
Yes, yeah, yes. My mistake, yeah. Thank you. Bristol just, they've really pulled it out of the bag because Cambridge are.
That is a shutout score, all right.
Yeah.
But here we are, back to the action on track 1 in the second quarterfinal of the day. Frog knocks Frenchbird out, but steps out themselves. And yeah, just another gap on the inside for Frenchbird that wasn't really there. So Ocean picks up lead for Severn after all of that. Which, you know, it's allowing Severn to catch up in terms of leads this half, because so far it was Manchester having that. Of course, the teams are tied on jams where they have scored any points for the half as well. We see Severn blocker going to the box. We see the Manchester pivot gone to the box. Whoop. French Bird gone to the box. That's a power jam for Severn to get them back in the game. They decide to call it off. They decide we would like to have a power start. Manchester, of course, with the blocker advantage in this case. So Severn 1 blocker in the box, Manchester 1 jammer in the box as we line up for jam 6.
And of course the birdie song of encouragement from Severn. That's what I believe that was. Paeli was doing the birdie song, the birdie dance.
Potentially
straight through the pack.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Serious game face there coming round turn 2 as well.
Yes.
Love that.
Well, it is time to have the game face on. Oh, lovely.
Beautiful.
I think some offense there opening that up. Jam is called. Frenchbird standing in the box. So Severn have gone for another power start.
Oh, just having a look at the penalty box communication between PBM and Frenchbird, looks like the time had elapsed as the jam ended, so Frenchbird has been released from the box.
So that's... Oh, indeed. Green just off their 3-jam dry streak, having scored some points in this last jam, 4 points to nothing.
Blue scored.
Oh, blue scored. I'm so sorry. Green, of course, are Manchester. That is my bad. I was confused by that. In my defence, some of the Severn skaters are wearing green helmets.
I mean, to be fair, right now on track we do have 2 Severn skaters with green helmets on.
Yes, that's my bad. So Manchester are on a dry streak. No points scored in the last 3 jams.
Colours are hard.
Colours are hard.
I'm not much better with shapes, to be fair.
Well, you know, once you know triangles and roller derby, what else do you need to know, really? Oh, lovely knockout. Just knocking the jammer straight into a referee.
That less brilliant, but that hip check from Shunt was chef's kiss.
That was wonderful. And just no escape there on the inside line for Cherry Skate Wells. Or the outside, it looks like you have to go through the middle. And see, that worked. Yeah. Cherry Skate Wells lead for Manchester.
A well-deserved lead, to be fair.
Oh, yeah. That was hard fought. And those whistles, of course, from the other track, which is why we're still playing here. Cherry Skate Wells simply stretches the pack out and pushes through the front. Oh dear. Severn have dropped the jammer helmet cover and Manchester are just camped out over it. As I say that, Buffy Showers manages to grab the star off the ground. So the fun story is you can block the star, and if you do that, there's very little the opposing team can do. Oh, it looks actually like Little Sister has the star. Yes, there was a star pass.
So speedy.
So speedy. No points for Severn. Manchester finish off their dry streak, catching it up, 11 points, almost making up for those last 3 jams, where they scored nothing. And now we have Trauma and Ocean lining up. We also have an official timeout.
So we've got Beetle Jazz down on track in-house.
Having a quick chat with the audience. Oh, somebody has a swan's head.
That's intriguing. Looks like it might be a Severn fan. I feel like I need an explanation on that one.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately there's nothing in the Magic Binder that has been put together for us. The only thing that we know about Severn from that one is that it's named after the Severn Boar. It's a big wave that comes up the river, down the river, and that people can surf on.
Yeah. Sounds like a ripping good time.
Indeed. Anyway, Severn has done star passes. Lots of star passes. They've done 5 star passes so far across both halves. In the first half, they've done a lot of them to 777.
Frog.
Indeed, and in the second half, they've all been going to 1-0. Little sister. Anyway, we're off. Back in the action. Trauma and Ocean. Severn currently enjoying a 1-blocker advantage, 8 extra wheels on the track, but to little avail. Trauma out lead. Severn star in hand. Time to give Frog the opportunity to catch up on those star passes. Just as Barbell is back from the track, we have Dusty.
Yeah, taking a seat.
Taking a seat.
Ashana through the pack.
Yeah. Ooh, and is Trauma going to go it, or are they going to run it? Manchester are running it, trying to clear the box.
Definitely worthwhile. Dusty is a very strong blocker. It's definitely worth having on track.
There we are. Box is clear, and it does look like Ocean just sort of stuck. Scoring, yes, but it looks like Trauma is wanting to extend that lead. Manchester trying to just get those extra points. Because, of course, if they both score 4 points, then it's not much of a change. And Severn have been gaining. They did well during that dry streak that Manchester had. Closed the gap a little bit, but Manchester now pulling ahead again in the game. With a positive / negative, depending on what approach you're taking. There's a negative score differential for Severn this jam, even if they have scored those 4 points, even if they're not up yet. Manchester up 4 points, depending on how many points Severn have scored. Ocean, of course, on a scoring pass. And there we are at last-ditch defense, not quite working out for Rainbow Crash, and that is the end of the jam. We'll see what the final points for the jam are.
They did get the 4.
There we are, the 4. So Manchester pull ahead by another 8. Or, if you're a glass half empty sort of person, Severn fall behind by another 8.
It's all about perspective.
Oh, perspective. It's important.
It is.
Paella against French Bird, we're off.
2 incredibly strong jammers.
2 incredibly strong jammers stuck behind some very strong walls. Oof, just big push there. Not enough time for a run back, so Paella can just get up again and start pushing. Oh, there we are. Oh, it looks like Paella is going to have to grab lead because can't star pass right now. Little Sister has gone to the box.
French Bird did manage to take the inside line though, so she is your lead jammer.
That's unfortunate. So little sister in the box, so no star pass. And another penalty for a Severn skater. Sergeant Shunt off with a direction. It does in fact look like little sister is beginning to creep up in the penalties on 4 now.
Not quite the danger zone, but
getting there. But so far, very even on penalties in the half, 4 each.
That is a completed star pass.
Yeah, little
very
sister
subtle.
off. Very subtle, very quick. Little sister just sort of creeping up behind French Bird, and French Bird decides they want none of that. They call it off.
No, thank you.
So we have had 3 star passes, and it looks like practically all of them have been to little sister for Severn.
She's got some really explosive energy, which is exactly what you want for someone taking a star pass. I would be intrigued to see her starting with the star and see how that plays out, see if she's able to get that off the line.
Would be nice, but I think it looks like the jammer depth for both benches is pretty good.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're going to see that. Hope we don't see that. But it will require some pretty unfortunate events. In the meantime, Cherry Skatewells grabbing fortune for Manchester, out with a lead. Elf Hazard hot on the heels of the Manchester jammer. So very quick calls. We'll see if there's any points in it for Severn. 2 points for Manchester, of course. Past one blocker in the box. So that makes it nice and easy. We see Severn's coach. There we are, 1 point for Severn. We see Dangley having a chat with the jam timer. So I think we're going to see a timeout.
Yeah.
Team timeout blue.
Waiting until that last possible second to call the timeout to give your team as long as possible for that timeout.
You could go for another 4 seconds, but it gets risky.
It definitely does. Then we're moving into the danger zone. Which is not where we want to be. I feel like at that point you would definitely have Kel to pay.
Yes, I can't imagine if you do these sorts of shenanigans that Kel would be very happy with you. And
I don't think it's worth it.
No, I don't think so.
No.
For 4 seconds. Especially because those 4 seconds will still come off the period clock, which is not what you want when you're behind.
No, exactly.
So you have to strike a careful balance. Yeah, halfway through this half, 10 jams down. And Manchester up by 98 points. So they haven't really managed to stretch out that gap over these 10 jams. They're closing in on 200 points. They're only 25 points out.
Yes.
What is that? 7 scoring passes? Not quite 7. 6 and a quarter.
Yeah.
Whoop.
Timeout done and dusted.
Timeout done and dusted, and we start practically instantly. Quiet Riot. Not very quiet. Just instantly out.
I tell you what, that was one of the fun facts. Who's your sort of like quiet hero? And Manchester said that it was Quiet Riot, although
they don't live up to their name.
Although she's not often all that quiet.
Oh. There we are. D. Manchester pivot off to the box. Whoop.
Had
another star pass to little sister.
Not sure if anybody else gets it, but every time I see her or you say little sister, I hear Billy Idol.
Hey, little sister.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Anyway, Severn managing to sneak in 4 points. Exactly 100 points behind now because Manchester managed to pick up 6. So they extended their gap by 2, which is all they needed to create the century gap, as it were, as opposed to century mark.
I like that. I like that a lot.
So we've got Ocean lined up against Dusty.
I believe this is Dusty's first time jamming today.
I think so too. I think they've been blocking so far. Yeah, we're getting the thumbs up.
And she is through as lead. Definitely have seen Dusty jamming before today. I think she used to jam quite a bit previously. Dusty did break her leg a year or 2 ago.
Ooh, that sounds unfortunate.
She had quite a quick recovery.
Good to hear.
Yeah, she was keen to get back to it.
Speaking of getting back to it, she's back at the back of the pack.
Yeah, she's already on her scoring lap.
Ready on her scoring lap, getting recycled though. So it's taking some time. Star stash by Ocean in the meantime. Dusty trying to just push through. But just always getting caught on those lines. Ocean scoring now. Dusty getting recycled.
I think it might have been by Sergeant Shunt looking for that inside line.
Yeah, the line's not really working out against Severn right now, so Manchester always running back.
Some jammers are able to kind of survive in that shallow water.
Star pass on the scoring pass to Frog. So Ocean has picked up some points and then couldn't get through the wall, gave the star to Frog because there's no lead for them to lose.
Yeah,
so it's simply a matter of getting those points up and starting another scoring pass. But before any points can be scored by our new jammer, jam is called dead even, 4-4.
And we maintain the century gap.
Century gap as Manchester close in on the 2nd century mark. Both teams 15 points out from their respective next centuries. And actually now that puts Frog and Little Sister, they're both tied on star passes for Severn.
You know what, it's really nice to see teams utilising the star pass. I feel like sometimes it's maddening to see jammers struggling when the pivot is right there.
Yeah.
It's just like, please pass to your friend.
Yeah. The pivots have helmet covers for a reason.
Yeah.
Trauma right now, lead for Manchester. And a star pass to Little Sister. So Little Sister pulling ahead on the star pass front, keeping those penalty lineup trackers busy.
Yeah, Devastator taking a seat in the box for, I believe, a multiplayer.
I believe that's a direction, in fact.
Oh, my mistake.
Oh.
There's the multiplayer.
There's the multiplayer. Sergeant Shunt. Up on 4 penalties now. Getting close to that danger zone, but teams still pretty close in penalties. Manchester are 21 penalties across the team. Severn are 23.
Paelli taking a seat for
that's the end of the jam.
My mistake, it was Little Sister for a cut. And that now puts her on 5. We are officially in the danger zone.
Here's your wish. You get to see Little Sister starting the jam.
There we go. Not like this.
Well, look, you simply asked for it. You don't get to ask for the delivery method. Very hard start for the jammer, of course, starting in the box with 2 blockers.
This feels like some monkey paw wish nonsense.
That's the announcer's curse. Anyway, we're starting. So far this half, Manchester have had 10 leads. Severn have had 3. And we'll see whether Manchester can grow that to 11-3. It does look like it. There we go, French Bird out. Beating the 2 blockers for Severn that managed to stay on track just as they get rejoined by Sergeant Shunt. Oh, that's Paelli in the box as well, who did the star pass in the last jam. So jammer starting as a blocker.
Turns out Little Sister straight out the box, weaved through the pack, star in hand.
And ready
on a scoring pass.
Jammer scoring. And there we are. Little sister picking up points. Jam is called. Let's see if Manchester have hit that second century mark. Ooh, someone's in the danger zone. That's little sister.
Yeah. Yeah, that cut from the previous jam puts her on 5.
Indeed. Manchester short of the century by a single point. Which I think that happened in the last game as well.
Yeah. A very speedy lead for Elf Hazard.
Yeah, but Cherry Skatewell's out. Half a track behind, maybe? Oh. Jam is ended, called after a... No? Yes, no, maybe so? Yes. It looks like there was a technical malfunction with Elf Hazard's skates. And so Severn were forced to call the jam before they could actually score any points. Pretty unlucky.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
But this is our first jam in 8 jams where no one has scored any points. We have gone to an official timeout to just sort out any confusion that might have happened at the end of that last jam there. It seems there's a little bit.
I think it's possibly more from the benches, because as both jammers were coming round towards the pack, I could see that the jam refs were indicating no points scored. So it looks like the officials were informed of the situation.
So the official timeout is over, and Buffy Shovers just straight through, I think, on that inside. And scoring. Lead and scoring.
Quiet Riot dealing with...
vicious Severn wall. Attempt at a recycle gets shortened by 303. Dusty doing stellar work. And quick star stash by Quiet Riot. Nice quiet star stash. That leads to a call off by Severn. Now we can see the jam ref coming around, checking, were there any more points scored? Yes, it looks like there was one. So we'll see. There we go. 97 to 199. Esparcieux au chien. 4-2 for Severn. And Trauma for Manchester. False start call, I think, there on 8-6 for Severn. Just creates a gap in that Manchester, for the Manchester Jammer, sorry, in the Severn wall for the Manchester Jammer. There we are.
We got there.
We got there. Words are hard.
Words are hard. Trauma already back in the mix on a scoring pass. Meanwhile, Oshan still looking for the initial star in hand.
But knocked out and recycled to the back of the pack as Trauma comes around. Obviously not quite as quick as at the beginning of the game. The rotations are taking a little bit longer, but that's understandable. Star pass now to Fron.
Beautiful.
Wonderful, straight through the middle of the pack. Nice and clear, no blocker in the way. But Manchester finally breaking through the 2-century mark after, what, 3 jams, 4 jams? Hovering at just short.
Yeah, Severn really playing keep away with that century there.
There we are, 110 points in the game now. 5 and a bit minutes to go.
French Bird and Paelli.
Yeah.
Real European jam fest.
Oh yeah. French Bird just sort of pushing the Severn wall all the way out of play. They managed to stretch it out, but alas, it's not quite enough. French Bird back in the lead. And there we have attempts at a star pass, but Little Sister not quite in position for that one, so Paelli just continues to push through the center, trying to break through that wall through just sheer force. Lovely. A star pass just before getting knocked down, so it's still legal.
Yeah.
And Little Sister, of course, away and free, but Manchester calling it off instantly, not taking any chances.
But still, it's minimizing the damage as well. It's getting the star out.
Yeah.
Prevents the points.
Yes, because Manchester, of course, are not going to take any risk of shrinking the gap. You can see Walls. It's offense. We can see a lovely spin on the inside by Cherry Skatewells to get the lead.
Really using the sort of the momentum and the kinetic energy of that hit to kind of ride that wave.
Yes.
And get through.
Riding the wave, indeed. Well, that's why people come to Severn, I suppose. But Severn also putting up 4 points. So, in terms of the point differential, no change. 215 plays 101.
So Severn have crested that century.
Yeah. So we played 19 jams. Green have lead for 15 of them. And blue, so Severn, have had 4 leads. So it has very much been going Manchester's way.
Yeah. Buffy Shovers and Quiet Riot, your jammers for Severn and Manchester respectively.
Ooh, called out of play at the front. There wasn't a bridge there to keep the blockers in play. Oh, Little Sister picking up the star from Buffy Shovers. So now well in the lead again in terms of star passes taken, I think. You can hear that they're asking the jammer to call it, but yep, jammer's calling. There we go.
Dusty,
but I do believe that is going to be some more points.
Almost certainly. Dusty with a well-placed hit and a recycle, but
well, so far 2 points for Manchester, no points for Severn yet. Doesn't look like there's any coming either.
It's all about where that contact came on the body.
Yes, but we have a timeout. We have an official timeout. Never mind. There's the points for Severn. Again, point differential neither grows nor shrinks in this game. Still 114 points in it. And the skaters taking the opportunity of an official timeout to do what skaters do during official timeouts, which is dance.
Yeah, it's understandable. It's roller derby and dancing go hand in hand. Like,
oh, there we are. A late penalty called on Buffy Shovers. But as a blocker, not as a jammer. Oh, no, maybe. As a jammer? Interesting. I was under the impression that there was a star pass there in that last jam. Interesting. Okay, Severn going out with 3 blockers. Nope, 4 the full complement of blockers. We are. That was the end of the timeout. The skaters were ready to go, but nobody else was.
Super keen.
Trauma already declared lead, which is a bit premature, I do feel. But no, there we are.
That is Buffy's...
Trauma fulfilling the prophecy.
Yes. That is Buffy's first penalty of the game.
Oh.
So close with a minute and 50 left on the period clock.
Yeah. Frog just directing the jammer to the edge, which almost lets the 2-wall catch the jammer, but alas, jammers on their footwork. Buffy Shovers, Star in Hand sneaks around the outside of the pack and is on the scoring pass. So Trauma, of course, asked to call. 1 point for Severn, 5 points for Manchester, 6 points for Manchester. So there we are. We finally see the point differential expand again. And Manchester call a timeout to just get ready. No, Severn call a timeout. Severn are blue. I need to remember this. Severn are blue. They call the timeout. They get ready. Of course, they're two skaters down on the bench, so they need the rest a little bit more maybe than Manchester do.
Yeah. Just want to take a break, take a moment. We've got 1 minute and 2 seconds left of our period clock. We are at half-time on the second track. Scores are Cambridge Rollerbillies 40, Bristol A-Team on 117.
Yes, but that is still better than the last time we checked, where it was 51-3.
Yes.
So a big improvement there by Cambridge. They're about to restart their half. We should be finishing our half pretty soon. We have Paeli up against
French Bird.
The European game, as it were.
It's the international meeting of minds.
Indeed, Manchester rolling back on Paeli, but Severn recycling French Bird.
Brilliant 2-wall there from Frog, and I believe that might be Shunt.
Yeah, there we go. Severn picking up lead.
Great bit of offense there from Iron Maven. Woof. Paeli taking people out.
Call by Severn. No points for Manchester. Almost immediately that hand went up, showing nothing. And a timeout. Severn trying to call a timeout.
Yeah, using the official review.
As they did at the end of the previous half again, taking that time to rest and get ready. Trying to finish on a high note.
Yeah, presumably they're looking for another jam. We've got 18 seconds left on the period clock. No doubt hopeful for final jam with maybe another lead. End on a bit of a
120 points. 120 points would be quite challenging. I think at that point you have to do a scoring pass every 2 seconds.
And last time I checked, bullet time was not legal within the WFTA rule set.
I think the WFTA rule set is actually quiet on breaking the laws of physics. It's only breaking the rules of the game, and I don't believe the rules of the game actually prohibit breaking the laws of physics. So if you can,
what terminology? It's actually quiet on breaking the laws of physics. That might be my quote of the tournament.
Alas, there we are. The last lead, most likely, for Manchester. Severn, of course, out of timeouts that they can call, and the period clock running down, gone to 0. So now, if Manchester call it, there will not be another jam, and the game will be over. But we see there, El Hazard has managed to go out. Manchester being told to Jammer being told to call it, and does so. Last points of the game being awarded now.
That was
and the last penalty of the game, Enigma.
And we're back.
So 227 to 108 so far. We'll see if there's any change for the final score.
Of course.
There is not. There we are. 227, 108. Congratulations, Manchester Roller Derby. You get to play Devon.
Yes. That should be an absolutely fantastic game. Both these teams have put on a great show so far this weekend.
Yeah.
lots more roller derby to come in and around your eyeballs, folks. Just let me grab my schedule so that I can tell you what we've got coming up next on this track.
Let's see, maybe it's in the magic binder as well.
So at 1:30 on this track here, we have London Battersea up against Durham. So that should be another fantastic game.
It should indeed. And then the last game on this track today of the Tier 3 quarterfinals.
That's going to be Wirral Wavebreakers up against Big Bucks High Rollers.
Indeed, and that will be at 3:30.
Yeah, fantastic stuff.
British summertime, I believe you call it over here.
Yes, BST.
Indeed.
Of course, there's still lots of action going on over on track 2 as well. After the Bristol game, Bristol v Cambridge, we have Kings of Rock and Roll versus Haunted City in the MRDA Tier 2/3 promotion game. And then we'll be finishing the day at 4 o'clock with the Tier 1/2 promotion with Crash Test Brummies against Kent Men Roll Derby Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
Indeed. So what are we having tomorrow then? Well, obviously we'll have the game that has just been decided. We'll have Manchester and Devon playing.
Other than that, it's still a lot of TBC.
A lot of TBC, but do we have some juniors playing tomorrow?
We do. We have the bronze medal and the gold medal games for the JRDA, which will see...
Oh, there we are.
Superb. Thank you, Sonic.
We will see at 9:30 in the morning Newcastle Juniors against Sheffield Steel Juniors.
And that's the bronze medal game. And that's on track 2. That'll be followed by Demon Borough versus Borderland Beasts.
Which is the gold medal game.
Yes.
I do believe.
Yeah, and those are the 2 definitely confirmed games tomorrow, and everything else will
be confirmed based on the results of today.
So, folks, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
I have been and will continue to be Snoogans.
And I am Jugger. Thank you very much.
And that was Sonic.
That was indeed Sonic, our lovely, very helpful producer.
Yes.
Right. Thank you
so much,
very
folks.
much.
Enjoy the rest of your day. And don't forget to have a look at the Discord. Have a chat. We'll talk to you. We love that you're being involved.
All right.
Talk soon. Bye.